Hello students, um, welcome to your English Literature online class. So to begin with today's class, firstly let me tell you that we will begin with new chapter today, that is chapter 14, Our Moon, which is written by Jane Yolen. Okay, so let's begin page number 94. Have you ever gone out for an evening stroll on an early morning walk? Have you soaked yourself in the sounds of the forest and observed things around? How did it feel to be quiet? Do you listen to the sounds of birds and insects around? So here, uh, the author is trying to tell us to actually uh, indulge yourself to nature. Okay, feel the nature. Okay, and he's asking us this question that have you ever uh, gone out for an evening or morning walk? Okay, and have you ever noticed the silence? Okay, the sound of the silence, okay, which is around you, the silence of the forest or about things which is around. And if you have noticed, how does it feel? Did you listen to the sounds of birds and insects around? So these are, if you see, it's a very, it's ordinary thing, yet very casual thing which we don't notice actually. But he's asking, have you? Okay. So related that, we have a story here. It's a story of a father and daughter who is going for a trip here. Okay, and what kind of trip? Let's just see. Let's begin. Okay. It was late one winter night, long past my bedtime, when Papa and I went owling. Now, what does owling means is, owling, it's an activity of observing birds, okay, especially owls. Okay, so owling comes from, derives from the word owls. Okay, so it's an activity of observing owls in their natural environment, especially at night. You know that we see owls especially at night. Okay, it's their time. Bats and owls. So night time is their time. So have you ever noticed, um, or have you ever gone for owling? There was no wind. The trees stood still as giant statues. And the moon was so bright, the sky seemed to shine. That day the moon was so full and it was so bright, so it seems like the sky was shining. Somewhere behind us, a train whistle blew, long and low, like a sad, sad song. I could hear it through. So it was not that loud sound, but a very distinct, from a very far, she could hear, this girl could hear this sound of a train, okay, whistle, blowing the whistle of the train. The woolen cap Pa had pulled down over my ears, okay, to keep my ears warm. A farm dog answered the train. So as she can hear, or they can hear the whistle of the blowing whistle of the train, she could also hear how a dog, not their dog, but a dog is answering, a farm dog was answering the train's whistle. Okay, he was even barking. And then a second dog joined in. They sang out, trains and dogs, for a real long time. So they were having a conversation for a very long time. As the train whistle was blowing, here on the other hand, again, dogs were, as if they are having a conversation, they were uh, barking with for the whistle. Okay. And when their voices faded away, it was quite as a dream. And when their both voices were fading away, okay, as they were walking, so they could distinctly hear that it was like a dream. Okay, we walked on towards the wood, Pa and I. Now we means here the father and the daughter, Pa and I. Our feet crunched over the crisp snow and little grey footprints followed us. So here she's saying that it was snowy, it was winter night, they said in the beginning itself. So their feet were crunching in that crisp snow, it was going down, it was soaking down. And little grey footprints followed us. Pa made a long shadow, but mine was short and brown. Here they're talking about the shadow. Okay, I had to run after him every now and then to keep up. Now you know how parents walk, they have a very long leg and they walk very fast. So she's trying here to match the speed of her father. But I never called out. If you go owling, you have to be quiet. Now, she was scared, she was behind, okay, she was rushing and she was trying to catch the speed of the father, but she was also scared here, but she's not screaming or she's not calling out for her father. Why? Because she has heard that if you're going for owling, okay, to observe an owl, you have to be quiet, okay, you cannot make noise. I had been waiting to go owling with Pa for a long time. We reached the line of pine trees, so they reached a certain line, black and pointy against the sky, and Pa held up his hand. And now he held up his hand. I stopped right where I was and waited. Now here he stopped for some time and even she waited for a long time. Now they are going to see here, okay. He looked up as if searching for the stars, as if reading a map up there. So the father knows when to go or when to see, when to witness owling. So here he is first looking up the sky and he's pretending as if he's reading some map or something. Okay, the child doesn't know anything about it. So she has come for the first time. So she doesn't know what is happening. So she's just observing her father. The moon made his face into a silver mask. Then he called, woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. So he made this sound, okay, the sound of a great horned owl. So that was actually sound of a great horned owl. Again he called out and then again. So he was doing this continuously, okay. After each call he was silent, and after doing it he was silent. He was trying to listen to get back any response if the owl are present there. But there was no answer. Pa shrugged and I shrugged. I was like, I don't think so we can see today. And even the girl was like, so this is called shrugging, okay? Just putting up your shoulder up is your shrugging. I was not disappointed. My brother said that sometimes there's an owl and sometimes there isn't. So her brother had already come for owling. So it was her first time who had come for owling. So her brother has already told her that don't get disappointed if you don't see the owl in the first go, okay? Because sometimes there is owl, sometimes there isn't. We walked on. I could feel the cold as if someone's icy hand was palmed down on my back. So it was so cold, okay? So she was shivering and she was feeling cold, and my nose and cheeks felt cold and hot at the same time, and the nose and the cheeks were feeling cold and hot at the same time. But I never said a word. But she is not ready to give up or she is not ready to complain because she is very excited to see. If you go owling, you have to be quiet and make your own heat. So if you have to go for owling, you have to be quiet as well as you have to warm up your body yourself. That's what she is saying. We went into the woods, that means deep, more deep to the forest. The shadow were the blackest things I had ever seen. They stained the white snow. So as you're walking and the shadow is staining the snow, that's what she meant to say. My mouth felt furry, for the scarf over it was wet and warm. Now the scarf she was wearing, it was a fur scarf, and now the scarf is her mouth is full of fur now. Okay, because the scarf over it was wet and warm now. I didn't ask what kind of things hide behind black trees in the middle of the night. Now she had so many questions as she's walking. Okay, what is behind the trees and all, but she did not ask anything because she has to keep quiet. When you go owling, you have to be brave, okay, because owling can be done only at night, so you have to be brave. Then we came to a clearing in the dark woods. The moon was high above us. It seemed to fit exactly over the center of the clearing, and the snow below it was whiter than the milk in a cereal bowl. Okay, now she's telling us, describing us how does the scenario looks. Okay, the moon was straight up and the snow below it was so white, it was like a milk in the cereal. Okay, cereal bowl. I shied and Pa held up his hand at the sound again. Again he started to shout. I put my mittens over the scarf, over my mouth, and listened hard. Now here she is concentrating a lot to hear something. And the Pa called, woo, 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 woohoo. So here he shouts again, he screams again. I listened and looked so hard that my ears hurted and my eyes got cloudy with the cold. Pa raised his face to call out again, but before he could open his mouth, an echo came threading its way through the tears. So, uh, once he did already, and he's trying hard to listen if he could hear again, but when he was going for the second call, he could hear something at a distance. Okay. Pa raised his face to call out again, but before he could open his mouth, an echo came threading its way through the trees. Woohoo! 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 Pa almost smiled. Now father got excited and happy because he's successful now. Then he called back again, woohoo! 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 Just as if he and the owl were talking about supper or about the woods or the moon or the cold. So here, soon after they heard the first call from the bird, okay, both of them, again the father started to whoop, and again the owl started to whoop, and now both are doing it one after another, and it seems like they're having a conversation. They're having a conversation about dinner, they're having a conversation about woods, moon, about the cold weather, and this girl, she is still quiet and keeping herself warm, and she's smiling, okay, because the owl's call came closer. So the owl's came, which was at distance first, it is coming closer and closer. Now she can hear very loud and clear. Okay, from high up in the trees on the edge of the meadow, nothing in the meadow moved. All of a sudden, an owl's shadow, part of the big tree shadow, lifted off and flew right over us. So all of a sudden, what happened? The trees were not moving, okay, but a big part of the tree shadow was lifted off and flew right over us, from there only, over us. Pa turned on his big flashlight. So they were carrying their flashlight torches as well. So he turns on the torch and caught an owl just as it was landing on a branch. It was just landing on the branch. For 1 minute or 3 minutes, maybe even 100 minutes, we started at one another. We stayed at one another. So for a very long time, they were only staring. They did not do anything, just staring. Okay. Then the owl puffed its great wings and lifted off the branch like a shadow without a sound. And when the owl felt that it was nothing but it was humans around, so what did the owl do? It lifted its wings and then it flew back again into the forest. So the Pa said that time to go home. Pa said to me, I knew then I could talk, I could even laugh out loud, but I was a shadow as we walked home. When you go owling, you don't need words or warmth or anything but hope. Here, what she learns is that as she is successful for owling, so now she knows that she can be loud, she can laugh, she can clap, she can be excited because she was successful for what she has come for. Okay, that is to see an owl, to witness an owl. So she was very happy and she was excited, and excited as she was going back home. She's sharing with us with us the experience that for owling, when you go for owling, you don't need to talk, you don't need to be warm or something, but what you need is your hope. Your hope has to be very high, okay, and that's what her father told her, that the kind of hope that flies on silent wings, hope in the silence itself. Okay, you have to be patient and you can be successful in whatever you want. So that is the story of owling.